12-year-old Mark has been hit, shoved, kicked, and spat on by bullies at school. 14-year-old Tess has been harassed in cyberspace and at school. There's someone here today who wants to meet Mark, give him some inspiration, talk to Tess, and just share his experiences. Here's a hint. He's a mega pop star and extremely talented. When Clay Aiken left Raleigh, North Carolina to compete on American Idol, little did he know his life was about to change forever. Clay went on to finish second in the final show, but you would never know it. A few months later, his debut album, Measure of a Man, had gone platinum, and Clay was honored with an American Music Award and a Billboard Music Award. Since then, Clay has opened up about some of the less thrilling moments of his life, like the pain of being a constant target of bullies in grade school. Their cruel comments became so unbearable, he spent a lot of time praying, quote, to be invisible. He's very much in our line of sight now, and thank goodness. Clay Aiken is now committed to making sure other victims of bullying will find their voice, just as he found his. Please welcome Clay Aiken. Nice to meet you. And Tess.
How are you?
All right. Clay Aiken.
Thank you very much.
Well, how you doing?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Well, I really appreciate you being here. I know that you have vaulted to the front of everybody's mind in singing and using that gift and talent, but you have also used that platform and that visibility to do an amazing book called Learning to Sing, which I have read and found passages in here that were incredibly insightful and informing. You've been where these guys are. Tell us about that.
You know, I think, it was a really tough time, for middle school is really tough. I don't have to tell you guys. I don't have to tell anybody, really. I think everybody has trouble with middle school, and I think it's about finding out who you are and being happy with who you are and being comfortable with who you are, because everybody in middle school is confused. Everyone in high school, in that age group, you find out, that's the period of time where people don't know whether everybody's so insecure about how cool they are and whatnot.
Well, you say in your book, when I was young, I was teased by other kids like it was their job.
I think it was. Sometimes they would have been rich if they had gotten paid for it, too. Look at that dork on the camera. Oh, there's another one right there. Both times. But, it's about it's about being comfortable with who you are. And once I figured out, who cares what people think about me? I know my parents love me. I know I have friends who love me. I love myself, I think once you have that and you carry it with you, everybody else wants to know what is it that he's got that I don't have, because everybody's insecure. They were picking on me because, they didn't have anything about them that they could be proud of, so they've decided they'd make themselves feel better.
Well, were you listening to me talk to Mark about him being unique and finding his place in the world? You did that with your music at the time in choir and school plays and that sort of thing, right?
Well, I did, and there was a long time where I didn't want to sing because I thought, oh, people are going to pick on me now if I'm the singing kid, And, and to be honest with you, some people did. Some people kind of started to pick on me because I sang and I was in the musicals or the plays, and I was when I was in 9th grade, I was the only boy in choir. I was the only guy in choir in my entire high school. And so people picked on me for that. So people didn't stop picking on me because I found something that I was good at.
Right.
They stopped picking on me when I found something that I was good at and I was proud of what I was doing. And you carry yourself that way. And when you know that you're, like Dr. Phil said, when you know that you're special, and you know it, we can tell you that forever. People can tell you that, till the cows come home. But you got to know it. And when you carry it and when you own it, people notice it. People absolutely do.
And sometimes they will get jealous. When Corinne started really getting picked on, she had been chosen to sing in some different competition things, like one of two girls, And that brought out a lot of jealousy for her, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and you've done some modeling and some different things, and that creates jealousy there. So, sometimes it does create a focus. And what Clay is saying is that it's not just letting other people know who you are. You have to be at peace with that yourself. That says, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is my interest. And it doesn't matter whether it's basketball or collecting stamps. If you know this is who I am and this is what I do, then how much other people think about you and what they say begins to fade away. You don't care so much about that. We'll be right back. We've been talking about bullying today and how it's reached epidemic proportions because it's happening around the clock. Kids are using the internet to harass each other at home as well as at school. Now, with me today are my son Jay and superstar Clay Aiken. Now, I have a question for you. Jay and I were talking earlier about this bystander guilt, because Jay's position is, say it again, I want everybody to hear this.
I think that the person that stands by and watches somebody get bullied is just as guilty as the person that's doing the pushing or the hitting or the name calling, whatever it is.
Did people know you were being picked on, made fun of, and bullied?
Well, I think that, it's really tough to admit people make fun of me, people pick on me, people call me names, because you don't want to even say them out loud again. You don't want to say nerd, dork, whatever, and the things that you're called, because you don't want to hear them again. And I think it's, so amazing that you're able to do this, that you came here today, as hard as it was to get on the stage and on national TV, and talk. I get nervous, and I'm not even being picked on right now, the people who I hung out with, to some extent, were people who got picked on themselves. And so, it's kind of hard to stand up for me if you're getting picked on when I'm not around.
Yeah, but that's exactly what you did, right?
Yes.
You did stand up for a friend.
And the fact is, it's hard. Like you say, it's hard. If it's like, well, I'm getting picked on myself, the last thing I'm going to do is throw fuel on the fire to stand up for you. But the fact is that a group mentality works. If everybody is saying, look, it's not okay, we're not going to stand for it, there are 10, 15, 20, 30 of us that are now not okay with picking on me or him or her or anybody, then that actually does make a difference.
You talked about how some of the people who are writing emails to you use the we word, and they stick together. The people who are doing the bad things stick together, so imagine if the people who are doing the good things stick together as well, it's going to be even stronger.
Yeah, exactly, and you've got to have, each of you have got to reach out and find that one friend that you can talk to. Now, I also want to introduce Kevin Storr. Now, he's the Director of Communications of iSafe America, and there are some safety issues here that you wanted to talk about. Kevin, tell us about that.
The biggest thing I can't emphasize more to parents, whether your child is the bully or your child's being bullied, is to get the computers out of their bedroom, because in the bedroom it's just an open door for trouble.
Yeah, and there are programs that parents can track, not so much to intrude on the privacy, but you need to know if your child is a bully. If your child is writing these things that these parents said, oh, I don't want to read those things, are you kidding me? You need to read those things. And there are programs, keystroke loggers, where every click of the mouse, every keystroke, a parent can look and see what their child is saying on the internet and who they're saying it to. And you didn't have this at the time, right? There wasn't a whole lot of cyberbullying.
I'm too old.
Yeah.
Never thought I was, but now I feel it.
Yeah, well,
thanks.
Time marches on. Aren't you glad I brought that up? We'll be right back. Now, I also want to tell you that there are copies of Clay's book, Learning to Sing, Hearing the Music in Your Life, under everyone's chair. Okay? And Clay wanted to come on and talk about this and let you guys know that things get better, a lot better sometimes. They get a lot better. And he didn't care if we talked about his book. He didn't care about anything, just to deliver the message. But I want to tell you, Clay, I've read this book, and it is an inspirational book. And the candor that you have about the bullying and all in your life is a real gift to share. with the young people of America.
Thank you
So I want everybody to go get a copy of that book and read it.